Hi beautiful people, what is up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my first impressions thoughts on the brand new Terra Cosmetics Ophiuchus palette. Now, I have not purchased from Terra in a very long time, and that is because Terra primarily is a single shadow brand. It's very rare and not often at all do they bring out palettes. So when they do, I tend to take a look because, quite frankly, buying single shadows is extremely expensive. If you want to get a deal, palettes is where it's at. You get a lot of products, a lot of shadows for a much cheaper price. So when I saw that they were coming out with this Ophiuchus palette, I was really interested because it seemed like this was spicy neutral. It would be right up my alley. I've definitely been living in that spicy neutral vein. So I picked up this palette for you guys. Per usual with all of my reviews, I'm going to give you guys all of the product details. I will pop up some swatches so you see what it looks like on my complexion. I am a medium deep with a yellow golden undertone. And then I'm going to be doing two looks for you all, and then I'll come back at the end and give you guys sort of my final thoughts, my final first impressions, and just wrap up the video. So go ahead, get your snack, get your little drinky drink. Let's dive in with the product details. So again, we are looking at the Terra Cosmetics Ophiuchus palette. This is an absolutely gorgeous, I would call it spicy neutral palette that retails for $57. We have 12 shades, 6 of which are mattes, and the remaining 6 are shimmers with 4 multi-chromes, 1 standard shimmer, and 1 iridescent multi-chrome. This palette is vegan, it has a 24-month shelf life, and it is cruelty-free. Now, the important thing to note about this palette that is very different from the Terra brand itself, like I said, they do single shadows, and those single shadows are hand-pressed, handmade shadows. This is not. This is a lab-created palette. Now, I kind of found that this after the fact and a little bit of digging. It is explicitly stated on the website. So this isn't going to be the exact same formula with the Terra hand-pressed shadows. So just something to note if you were planning to pick this up. And I believe I said this already, it does retail for $57. There are a number of affiliates with Terra Cosmetics. I am not one of them. I do know Millie, aka Bad to the Brow, is one of them. So I think you can use an affiliate code when picking this up. I wasn't able to for some reason when I checked out, although I did check out like really early, like almost right when it launched, and I wasn't able to use a code. I don't know why. And I didn't dig too much into it, but if you can, use a code, save some money, because no one should be paying full price for makeup. You know how we feel over here. Okay, so now that you guys have heard the product details and you've seen these swatches, let's go ahead and dive into the demos, and then I'll come back at the end to give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, let's get it started. So I'm going to start by immediately going into the warm orange shade. This is Messier 12. And I'm going in before having touched this palette in any way, so. Very nice pigment, and it's going on really well. And I am just packing that on to the crease and blending that out. It is really blending like a dream. Now this is going to be a really simple look. I'm going into Dark Horse Nebula. This I would say is the darkest matte in the palette. It's a dark green. If I took you for a top-down drive, but it's so dark that I feel like you can't really tell. It's actually, you can tell. I take that back. But it's not like bright, you know? I feel like I'm not really making sense, but I'm trying to say it's like a wearable deep green. Personally, I would have loved to have a brown in this palette, but I personally think there should be a dark brown in every palette, you know? And that has been my feeling ever since I've been in this sort of neutral wave. And not that every palette needs to be neutral leaning, I just want to have the option to go neutral in a palette. I wish I'd never let you go. So I'm just packing that out into the outer V, blending it inwards. And same with the first shade, really good pigment. No issues blending, no patchiness, nothing. So far, so good. Change your mind. for the shimmer, I'm going to go into Klepner's Supernova. When it comes to... Oh, that is creamy. That is really pretty. When it comes to multi-chrome shades, what I have evolved into is realizing that these shades really don't need any help. And by that I mean, unlike some of my other looks where I love to do 2 shimmers on the lid to create a really nice gradient, with a multi-chrome, I picked up way too much product. I just need 1 to swipe all over the lid, and then probably 2 mattes to ground the look. And that is because, you know, multi-chromes, as their name indicates, they're multi-dimensional. They're meant to shift, they're meant to do their thing. So the more you add to it, the kind of more chaotic the look ends up looking. So in my makeup evolution, when it comes to multi-chromes and sometimes even dual chromes, for me, it's just plopping 1 on the lid, just 1, and then having some grounding mattes. And by that, it could be 1, it could be 2. So that's what I'm doing for today's look. This 1 multi-chrome, and then we have the 2 mattes around it. I still have so much product left on my finger, y'all. So this is the look. This is what we're going for. I'm gonna go ahead, blend, clean this up, and then I'll come back and show you guys the final look. Okay, we are gonna go in with the second look, and for the second look, I'm gonna do what I like to do with multi-chrome shadows. So that is simply to pop 1 all over the lid and then take 1 matte and blend it out around the edges. Mainly because this is all super colorful, super bold. I am not really feeling that today. Feeling hella basic, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're actually gonna go in with this Zeta shade. It is a multi-chrome shade. Excuse me. Whew, child. And it's one of those stereotypical multi-chromes that we've seen all the time. It has like a purple, gold, a little bit of green in there, shift. And I'm just gonna put that all over the lid. And I'm taking my fingers, being very, very gentle, and I'm pressing it into the lid because these are some really, really big particles, and I kind of want to smooth it out on the lid. And considering that I learned my lesson last time, I'm trying not to pick up too much product. And then I'm gonna go back into that neutral shade. Plop that into the crease, just to blend out that multi-chrome. Maybe it's better if I never love, so I don't have to open up, and you don't have to lose my trust every time. And honestly, this is gonna be the look right here. I'm gonna go clean it up a little bit, probably add a little bit more, use like a flat brush to sort of clean up the front parts of this. But this is it, 2 shades, that's it. And I'll do some brown liquid liner. So let me go do all of that cleanup, and I'll come back and show you guys the final look. Okay, I'm back, and this is the final look with the Terra Moon's Ophiuchus palette. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. I listened to 2 different pronunciations, and they kind of Ophiuchus, something to that effect. All right, so let me give you guys my final thoughts and just quickly wrap up this video. This is a beautiful palette, absolutely beautiful color story. Like, it is a little bit of a spicy neutral, but it definitely leans more colorful. Like, you can get a pretty simple neutral basic look, but I will say that if you are more into the neutral space, it's a lot more colorful than you think, and it's a lot more green than you think. Quite frankly, the matte brown shade is the only real neutral or straight up like brown matte in this palette. Everything else is green. I would have wished there was one other brown shade. So like these 2 green mattes here, I think one of these could have been a brown. I really wish there was another brown to ground this palette and it wasn't just all green, but That's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the formula of the palette. The matte's absolutely beautiful, pigmented, blendable. I had no issues with the mattes that I ended up using in both of my looks. The shimmers, I can't even hold y'all. I'm not impressed. Not impressed. And I wasn't sure what I was expecting going into this. The brand does say on the website, this is not their hand press formula. This is a lab custom blend formula. So it's not the handmade Terra Moon shadows that I know and love. And quite frankly, it feels familiar. It's giving the same sort of squishy multi-chromes that I've seen so many brands do before. So I'm not impressed because this doesn't feel like the Terra Moon's formula and it doesn't feel special. Just being completely honest. Especially with these very chunky shimmery shades. They are extremely emollient, extremely squishy. If you have hooded eyes, if you have issues with creasing or oiliness, this might not be the palette for you because I think these shimmer shadows are extremely emollient. I don't have any issues with them. When I wore my look yesterday, I didn't experience any creasing, but quite frankly, that is not a problem that I have with 99.9% of the shadows that I wear. So don't use me as an example. I would say check out Bad to the Brow. Millie, I know that she did receive this in PR. She does have hooded oily lids, so that would be a better example if you were planning to pick this up and you wanted to see how it performed on that. But I will say it isn't my cup of tea because it doesn't feel very special, very Terra Moons. It just feels like every other indie brand putting out a multi-chrome palette. So I'm a little disappointed because I wanted Terra Moon shadows and I didn't get Terra Moon shadows. But I'm grateful at the price of this palette. That's the one thing that I will give this palette, is that considering that there are all multi-chromes and simply one shimmer, the price of this palette was really good. So I'm not upset in that I spent a ton of money on it. It retails for only $57. I know that's still pretty steep, but considering what indie brands are charging right now, $57 is actually quite cheap. So it retails for $57. When I purchased it, I wasn't able to use an affiliate code. I don't know why. I did not honestly question it too deep. It is currently out of stock on the website, but it does say that it's restocking soon. So just keep your eye out for that if you were interested in picking this up, and try again, see if you can use an affiliate code. Millie definitely does have an affiliate code with the brand. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed sort of seeing my review of the Terra Moon's Ophiuchus palette. I had fun playing in this. Now it's on to the next. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, leave your comments, thoughts, reactions down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.